Hey everyone, Michael Brody here, serial entrepreneur and virtual boss. This video, I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I want to talk about what I think it takes to be an entrepreneur, what qualities you need, and also, I'm not talking about all the textbooks. So many books have been written, okay, where people just regurgitate the same information, and it's often not helpful. So I just want to talk to you straight from my heart, and I want to talk to you based on my experience as Europe's youngest retail entrepreneur. So back when I was, as a lot of you know, back when I was 16, I left school. 17, I opened a retail store. Now, I built that retail store as a teenager, 18, 19, employed 40 odd staff, 7 figures, made money. But I want to talk to you about how that came about, because people always tell you about, having an idea, having this like epitome moment where, you see God. This is what people talk about. I just want to cut past all that, and I want to talk to you about observing, using common sense. I want to talk to you about how not just having a goal, but also applying common sense and applying your eyes, seeing opportunity. Okay? So I knew when I was at school, 14, 15, I knew I didn't want to stay at school because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't want to go to the university because I didn't see myself in a corporate job. I didn't see it, even at the time. I was inspired by other entrepreneurs. So I left school at 16. I did everything. I wheeled and dealed and did whatever it took. Markets. I went to auctions. I traded goods. I did everything to accumulate money. Not a lot, maybe 30, 40 grand by the time I'm 17, and I opened my first retail store. Okay? But where did I see the retail idea? Right, okay, so I knew I wanted to go into retail because it was a business I knew pretty well. I thought, buy goods at one price, sell them at another, make money in between. Classic business model. But I observed another company. It was called Time to Retail, a Birmingham importer. They imported goods from Hong Kong and China, and they set up retail stores. 40, 50, 60 retail stores, September till January for 4 months, and they made a killing. They made a lot of money. So I went round, literally, this is the truth, I went round literally every shopping centre in the United Kingdom to look for ideas. And I saw this company, and I remember standing outside of the store, and I watched all these customers just coming. £10, £15, £20, £40, £50, £60 per customer, £100 over Christmas. And I remember I was with my partner at the time, Matthew, and we kind of looked at each other and we smiled. You know that smile you get when you think, okay, I'm onto something here. Okay, so I figured a way how to do it. So 17, I'm not even old enough to sign a contract, so I had to act the part, wore a nice suit. Not this polo shirt I now wear. Now I'm a virtual boss, I don't have to wear a suit. Anyway, I put a nice suit on, beautiful suit, and contacted the agent, set up a meeting with the operations manager of the shopping centre, the Metro Centre in Newcastle, Europe's biggest shopping centre, and we struck a deal. I struck an unbelievable deal. Paid like 25% of the asking rent, which was great, flexible terms. And then I went about setting up the business. So we launched a store. We worked hard. We worked 7 days a week. I mean, literally, we worked. And we expanded the business, and we opened multiple stores. We replicated what the other company was doing. We brought our own imagination, yeah. We brought some new products, different product lines. But we based it on what was working. We saw it was working quite clearly. We've got eyes. We can see the money coming in. So the risk element wasn't a great risk in that respect. Who cares? 40, 50, 60, 100,000, whatever it was. And it wasn't a great risk because we saw what was happening. Okay? And I've applied that principle to a lot of things because it's super important. Now, the next thing is having a goal. You have to have a goal. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you want. If you want $1 million, $1 million, £1 million, you've got to know that's what you want. You've got to, okay, I'm going to get the million. Now here's the steps to get there. Now everybody tries to sell you a formula. There is no formula. The formula is persistence, goals, observing, and that's not even a formula. That's, to me, just common sense. But as I've always been told, common sense is not so common. And if you can trade education for common sense, go with common sense, because it's very valuable. It's like the Mona Lisa of wisdom. But a lot of people profess to have it, but they don't. So have common sense and use your wits. Really have your wits about you. Anyway, another story. So when business is going great, making a lot of money, 40 odd stuff. I got in the nightclub business. Now, one thing I did in that business, again, was apply common sense. That we had different nightclubs in the area, in Newcastle. Different niche nightclubs, should I say. So we're not competing, remember, we're going after a different market. Our market was cabaret, we did tribute bands, this type of market, okay? So I went around other individual operators, and I spoke to them, spoke to the owners, and I said, okay, so you're stocking Smirnoff vodka, which Smirnoff, the vodka brand. And we were all spending like 3-4 grand, 5 grand a week, every week, 4-5 grand or whatever, on just this one product, on vodka. So we put a buying club together. I orchestrated this buying club where 6 of us bought together. So instead of spending 5 grand individually, we spent 30 grand a week. Now we took that buying power to the supplier and we brought the price down by, I think it was 4.2% or 4.2, or it was 4.5%, which doesn't seem a great deal of money. But what I'm trying to get here is 4.5% on 5 grand spend is like £225 a week. That's £11,000 or £12,000 a year added to the margin through one conversation, through using common sense. It made 12 grand in 20 minutes, isn't it? That's what the conversation took. So the point I'm making is use common sense. Have a goal, use common sense, and observe what's working. Always look to add value. How do you add value? When I set up the business, one of my prime businesses I have right now, business which has gone tremendously well, is www.virtualstaff.ph. We added so much value to that business. We changed the whole industry. A lot of people tell me, you've took the industry and you've just flipped it on its head. And we did, but again, not super unique. What we did was we observed other companies. They were in the Philippines, outsourcing companies, recruitment companies, letting you hire virtual assistants. They charged recruitment fees, big recruitment fees, and they found the staff. Or they charged a monthly management fee, or they charged a salary markup to the client. What we did was we created this marketplace, virtualstaff.ph, where the entrepreneur, the business owner, wherever you are in the world, connects with the Philippine virtual assistant on our site, contacts them, interviews them, hires them. We provide the facility, but we don't get involved in any of the process, which means we cut out all the cost. And you can imagine, my competitors were like, they must hate me. I'm sure they've got a hit on me. There's probably a hit on my head, right now. All these outsourcing guys. This guy has just ruined it for us. We were having we were milking these entrepreneurs. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is you can add value, and I did what you could say Steve Jobs did with the iPod, brought in more value, and that's all I did with virtualstaff.ph. It's all I've ever done with any business. I've observed and I've brought in value. So think about how you can do the same. Think about how you can bring value. What industry do you want to go into? Maybe try a few industries. I've tried a lot of industries before I reached this. And before, after the retail, I tried my hand at different things. But always seeing opportunity. Always using my eyes, seeing opportunity, following through, bringing action, bringing persistence, bringing common sense. Because it's not so common. So that's just a few things, guys, and I hope it helps. One thing I really want to say before, leaving you on this video, be careful online. I love the fact that you're watching my video because obviously you're looking for knowledge, you're looking to be an entrepreneur, you're looking to learn from other entrepreneurs, and that is a tremendous quality. I ask questions all the time. I remember a guy who used to go to the Marriott, which the hotel I used to be a health club member of, and he was an Iranian guy. He was in the property business. He did tremendously well. Millions and millions of pounds. Very, very well. Very humble guy as well. Came across with nothing, built up, his property business. He was in the food business as well. And I used to talk to him for a long time every night. Now, every single night, 5 nights a week almost, in the sauna. And he gave me so much good advice. But the difference is there was no ulterior motive. There was no catch. He didn't want to sell me a course. He didn't say, okay, if you want to just give me your credit card details and I'll give you the secret. So be careful, because remember, internet marketing itself is a business. So, and people should charge for advice. Don't get me wrong. Qualified people should charge for advice, because if they have something they can bring, then of course it's no different to a consultant or an accountant or a lawyer. So I'm not, okay, so that's a good thing. But because of that, you get a lot of people trying to sell you basically quotes out of a book, is what I would call it. So you've got to be careful that you're only listening to people who do have your interests at heart, and people who are not trying to suck you into some kind of, marketing gimmick that's gonna get money off you, and it's not gonna bring you any value. If you want to tweet me at the Virtual Boss, you can. More than happy to get help you any, if I can, if I can give you some advice or put you in touch with someone who can, if I don't know, because I don't know everything. I do try to have an opinion only on things that I'm passionate about, or things that I know I can bring value to. So anyway, I hope this video has helped. Remember, you can do what do what you want, do anything you want in life, but have common sense, have persistence, use your eyes, and remember, comment below or get me on www.michaelbrody.net if you want to learn anything about outsourcing, entrepreneurship, or hiring virtual assistants. Until next time, take care.
If you want to hire a virtual assistant today, check out www.virtualstaff.ph. Like us on Facebook and follow Michael Brody on Twitter @TheVirtualBoss.